What's going on, everybody? RazMansReality coming back at you here with another live stream today. And today's a little bit different because as you can see, I've got two sets of headphones on or two microphones on rather, because I've got a guest with me. I've got fellow YouTuber Danielle Branch here, and we're just gonna chit chat and get to know each other a little bit and see who else comes in the stream. But if this is your first time here and you want more unbiased reviews and discussion, then as always, hit that subscribe button and ring that bell notification icon so that you don't miss anything. For those of you wondering about the arrow breakdown, I had some technical issues with the computer this week where everything sort of crashed on me, so I had to push that back. So that'll still go up, but it'll go up on Monday, so we didn't get behind on live stream day. But Danielle, thank you so much for being here.
Oh, no, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
You're very welcome. And for those that don't know you, because that is the whole purpose of today's live stream, why don't you talk about who you are and what you do here on YouTube?
Let's see. So what do I do? First of all, my name is Danielle Branch, and well, he's going to be the hostess with the mostest today, but usually I'm the hostess with the mostest. What I do is I teach people how to be engaging on video, how to be fun and be different so that you can stand out in the crowded niche that you're in. So that's just some of the things that I do on my channel.
Well, that is awesome. I believe that I'm subscribed, but I'm going to double check that and make sure that I am, because I could definitely use some help with that, because I'm in a very crowded niche at times. It's very hard to stand out in movie and TV. But before I started learning about YouTube SEO and trying to really grow my channel, and I was just doing YouTube in general, the audience that I have now strictly came from friendships and word of mouth, and
Yeah.
people saying, "Hey, go check out this guy RazMansReality because I enjoy his stuff."
Mhm.
And that's my favorite thing about YouTube, is just finding people who are going through the same things you're going through and trying to make friends
Absolutely.
and meeting like-minded people. So I just decided, today's my live streaming day. I'm gonna go to Tube Ritual, which, shout out to Tube Ritual. It's the best
Yes.
Facebook group on YouTube, in my opinion, for meeting fellow YouTubers. Doesn't matter what niche you're in, people are always, there to help you, give you advice. And Brian's the one that made it, and his channel is like amazing stuff. His book is amazing. I'm about
Yep.
halfway through his book. I can't wait to finish that up and review that, because that is some great stuff. I should have had it on the tray here, but we were having some technical issues. I didn't think to go and grab it. But yeah, so anyway, that's how we met, and that's what the idea of today is. So I guess my next question for you is, why YouTube? Because there's like a million different platforms out there and ways that you can get to know people. So what
Yeah.
made you decide that you want to put your face on video and try to reach people that way?
Well, I actually have a face for radio. Um, but basically, the reason why I got into YouTube is because I was in TV when I was in high school. And I honestly, my daughter had a channel and she wanted to be a Minecraft role player. And, I mean, whatever. So then I gave her some ideas on things that she could do with her channel, things with her title, her tags, her description. And she didn't believe me. So I said, you know what? I'm going to make a channel and I'm going to have more subscribers than you. And that's exactly what happened. And I started out drawing and teaching people how to draw. And then finally I had this realization. I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I'm not showing my personality. And that's one thing that I'm really good at. I've trained hundreds of classes on things from sales to customer service. And the one thing that people got from my, man, she's really fun. And I learned a lot. So that's why I decided to come to YouTube. And you know what? I'm going to go in and teach everyone what I do. Oh, we have to say hi to Betty White, by the way. Hi,
Hi,
Betty.
Betty, and thank you for coming in. We appreciate it. Or, well, I should say I appreciate it because I'm the host today, but I appreciate if you came in for Danielle as well. Either way. But yeah, that's awesome. And that's basically the same reason I started doing YouTube is because I have cerebral palsy, but I'm very lucky in terms of I can communicate pretty well. Most people with the condition really can't do that. So I always thought, there must be a pretty strong reason for that. And I'm this huge nerd, geek, like whatever words you prefer to use. I mean, I know there's some people out there who like differentiate between the cultures and really break that stuff down. I'm not into that. I don't care which one you want to call me, but I'm all of that about film and TV and comic books and that whole thing. So I was like, you know what? I'm not a director in Hollywood yet. I'm not making movies, but I can be the kind of critic that I would like to see, somebody that is just going to be real and truthful. And like my tagline says, unbiased reviews and discussion. So that was the idea behind my YouTube channel. And I grew to about 1,000, where am I at now? 1,434, I think, subs. And I just wasn't growing. And for a while, and I felt very stagnant. I'm like, am I doing the right thing? So that's when I started researching YouTube SEO and got involved with this new community now. So that kind of catches you up to where I'm at. But yeah, basically, I did it for the same reason because I just wanted to share what I felt like I had to offer. And video seemed to be the best way to do it. And hey, if I can inspire one person to think, hey, if this guy with cerebral palsy can put himself out there, then why am I not on YouTube? Right. Why do I not have a podcast? Like, what is my problem?
That's right.
So that's my whole thing. And whether I succeed and blow up and do this full time like I would love to do, or whether I continue to just reach that core group of people, it makes me feel like I've done something good. So that's why I do what I do. What do you think is the most challenging thing about being a YouTuber? Is it the fact that you have to interact with people you don't know, and sometimes those people may not be who you think they are, or is it just trying to break through that glass ceiling with the SEO and things like that? Or
for me, I think the hardest thing about being a YouTuber is in the beginning, it's really trying to go and find who's your audience. Who are you supposed to be targeting? And I find that to be true. And I think that that's something that a lot of smaller channels really struggle with. And that's something that I think that I've kind of figured out along the way. That, at first you want to make videos about everything. Anything and everything, I'm going to put out those videos. And then over time, I think you just realize, okay, that's not really helping me or anyone else, and I'm not really growing because of that. So I think the hardest thing is trying to figure out how can you, and like I said before, how can you actually stand out and not be like everyone? So you had mentioned Brian G. Johnson. His channel is Brian G. Johnson TV. There's Nick Nimmin. I'm going to name drop. I'm just name dropping everything.
Absolutely name drop. And hopefully those two awesome guys will be watching this back, because I'm sure they'll get a kick out of we met through them, and now we're doing a live stream together. So
yeah,
hopefully
there's Nick Nimmin, there's Brian G. Johnson, Daryl Eve, Tim Schmoyer, Sean Cannell, Roberto Blake, Schmidt Tower, all these people. And so I'm kind of trying to break into that niche myself, but you need to go and figure out, well, what makes you different? And that is the hardest thing, is what can you bring to that conversation? And that was the most difficult for me. And then I finally hit me, well, you know what? I know how to get people to like me, watch me, and love me. So, that was kind of, I'm the weird one. See, you didn't know I was this weird, did you?
No, but weird is good. I mean, I watched Brian. So
weird is great.
Yeah,
weird is awesome.
Yeah, weird.
But that's probably the hardest thing that I would say, is trying to figure out how you can bring something different and not be like everyone else.
It absolutely is, especially in my niche, because you wouldn't think that movies and TV is a big niche, but it's a giant niche on YouTube. Like there's people doing reviews, and they do them so freaking fast. Like I'm talking about, they go and see a movie, and that video is up like within an hour of the movie being released. So for me, the most difficult thing is because of my physical situation and because a lot of stuff I do is like 24 or more hours later, the hardest thing
Yeah.
is just making a video that people are going to want to watch if they already
Yeah.
know from other people what the subject matter is. So that, to
Mm-hmm.
me, that is where your personality shines through. That's where you got to be like, this is how I saw this movie. I'm not going to tell you whether or not this is good, bad. I'm not going to spend all this time talking about cinematography. I'm going to talk about what this movie did for me and how I would have changed this movie, you know. So that's the way that I try to look at my movie and TV reviews. But the other thing that you mentioned that I found really interesting, because it's again, it's more proof that no matter what niche you're in, everybody goes through the same thing. You mentioned trying to find your own voice and, you know, stand out from the crowd, but there's also that balance there of paying attention to viewing habits and commenting habits and interaction habits within your niche. Because recently
Yes.
I've changed my style quite a bit because I noticed that the videos that people really respond to aren't necessarily a video with your face and the little picture in the corner. People like looking at the pictures of what you're discussing. So while on the surface you're like, why would I just record a voice over pictures? When it comes to movie and TV, I think it makes the people feel like they're kind of looking at what you're referencing. You know,
Yeah.
as much.
Well, in your case, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to jump on you there. But yeah, I was just saying that I think people feeling like they're watching whatever it is that you're talking about to a certain extent. Obviously, I can't, you know, drop the whole movie in there as I'm talking because, you know, there's copyright issues and the whole thing.
Right.
But, you know, whenever possible, especially for TV, because TV is real easy to do because, you know, TV streams everywhere now. If you can just
Right.
play back a stream and capture photos from said stream and then do your voice over the photos when you put it in a video, it amazed me how much my overall watch time and interaction just shot through the roof because it was more than just somebody talking to a camera. It was somebody actually having reference points saying this scene here, that scene there. So it's those little things that you kind of have to get past because I never did my videos like that because other big successful channels in my niche with way more subscribers than I had. That's how they did theirs. So I'm like, I'm never gonna break
Right.
through that way. But one of the things I learned from Brian and Nick, again, name drops to Brian G.
Yeah.
Johnson TV and Nick Nemon, is that
Yeah.
copying doesn't necessarily mean that you're trying to be somebody else. Copying means learning what your audience likes to watch and then
Right.
interjecting your own personality and your own way of doing things into it. So,
Yep. Now, something that you could do for your channel in particular, that's something I do is I do reviews on my channel of other channels. Something you could do on yours, since it's going to take 24 hours for you to see the video, why not talk about the video in advance? That way you're riding the wave, let me see, you're riding the wave up where people are still talking about it. Then when the movie breaks, then you're really talking about it. And then as people aren't talking about it anymore, you're going to be on the downhill on that.
that's really good advice. I never looked at it that way. That's a really great point of view because that is my biggest problem is that, you know, we talk about the DC TV shows every week. I break down the DC TV universe, but because all the shows air at 8 o'clock, and because the people that help me physically need to get up for work the next day, I'm not able to be in front of a computer and put a video together until the day after the show airs. So it might just be a case of just quickly popping on YouTube Live and doing like a mini live reaction and then saying like
Absolutely.
tomorrow will be the full breakdown of the episode, kind of a thing.
Yep. That's a great idea. And so, you know, what might actually also help you is as the hype starts building up, like Incredibles 2 is coming out in December. Since that's coming out soon, or you can even talk about the Pirates of the Caribbean. Those have they've set days, so you could start, like in the future, start talking about it, title it nicely, find out what the hashtags they're using and what tags are they using in their promos, tag it up, and that way you're going to start riding that wave on the upside.
Absolutely, and I can't wait to see Pirates. I'm seeing it on Tuesday. One of my favorite franchises of all time. Great stuff. I'm sad that supposedly this is the last one, although they were supposed to have signed on for 6. So I'm not really quite sure what happened there with that. But yeah, you mentioned a good point. Is it's not always about, you don't just have to limit yourself to full on reviews. Like there's a million different ways to talk about a subject before you get to the meat of it. And the more you talk about it, the more content you have. Like that was something that the Universe Guru just recently mentioned on her collab with Nick, where she talked about taking live streams like this and chopping them up and turning them into actual videos to make more content. And that's, again, it's just about not really realizing something until you hear it. That was something I never thought of, was that you can get more mileage out of a live video than just about it being live. So,
absolutely.
So I think that's the cool.
And that's the other thing.
I'm sorry.
Here recently, I started to review other people's channels, and I was doing it live. And so if I would do like 2 or 3 reviews, then those that the stream actually wasn't about at first, I'm going to end up cutting those up and formatting them into a whole new video.
Yeah, that's great, because it gives an opportunity for the people that watch the replay or don't have time to sit down. Like if we go for a full hour and a half, whatever it is, they don't have time to sit down for that entire time, but they get the same material in 5, 10 minute, 15 minute chunks.
That's right.
At a time.
That's right.
So it's all about more content for your channel, and any way you can grow is good, I think, in the end.
Yeah.
So for you and with the channel reviews and things like that, what would you think, or what would you say to somebody who is just starting out? Like, what is the most common problem that you see people having when they're trying to grow and they're not really getting anywhere?
That's a great question. And what's funny is I was actually in someone else's live stream earlier today, and I kept repeating myself. One of the biggest issues that I see with new YouTubers is, how do I get more views? I make a video and no one comes to see it. Well, one of the biggest reasons why is because they're not finding you. You're naming it like a vlog channel. You're naming it Vlog 32, May 27th, 2017. People aren't searching for that. If you went to go see, and I'm looking at your poster, if you went to go see a new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movie, and you vlogged your whole day, and you vlogged where you came out and you talked about it, totally go and title it, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movie review, vlog number, whatever. So I think making your titles into searchable terms. Second is your thumbnails suck. Pretty good. But, that's the biggest thing, is like your thumbnails suck. If I can't see the text because of your picture in the background, then I'm not reading it. And that's what everyone's doing. So you want to make sure you have nice big text that everyone can see what it is, because people are using their smartphone. And if they can't see those words on their phone, then they're going to keep scrolling until they find something that they like.
Absolutely, yeah. That's something I just recently did. Like, I don't make a lot of money, but I recently just figured out a way to invest and make sure that I have Photoshop, because making professional thumbnails and going with that consistent branding across the board makes all the difference in the world, because you want to make sure whether or not you have 1,000 subscribers or 20. You want to make sure that if somebody comes and clicks on your video, you want to dominate that sidebar. You want people to know, okay, this is more of RazMansReality or more of Danielle's videos, and you want them to click on your video and keep watching more of your stuff instead of being enticed to go somewhere else. And
Absolutely.
the tech stuff is a huge balance for me because just from research and analytics and things I've looked at, people really do respond to pictures when it comes to movie and TV reviews as well. So the real big balance for me is figuring out how not to make the photos too small, but also make the text big enough where people can read it too. So
here's my suggestion. While I'm talking, I think Betty White wants you to go and look at your Facebook.
I will do that. Betty?
So one of the things that I found has, and a lot of your bigger YouTubers do the same thing, they're putting all of their text on the left, and then they're putting a picture on the right. One of the reasons why they're doing that is because when you put all of your videos into like a playlist, then on the right hand side, it's going to cover up part of that. So that way, if all of your text is on the left, then that way you're still going to get the meat and potatoes of what that thumbnail is on the left. And yeah, it'll cover up your picture, but at least you're going to be able to have that text there.
Yeah, well, that's what I am doing, but sometimes 200 seems to be about the max that I can get in Google, or not Google, sorry, in Google on the brain because we're using Google, in Photoshop, but it also seems to be small for certain words, so it's just like, it's just a balancing act that I haven't quite mastered.
Few words. I would limit it to 3 or 4 words, and that's it. You don't have to have your entire title in there. I think one of mine was how to grow your beauty channel, or how to stand out in the beauty channel niche, something like that. And then in my thumbnail, I said, grow your beauty channel, and that's it. So less words on your thumbnail, the better.
So if your title's like something with the headline and then breakdown, like leave out the breakdown part in your thumbnail and just go with the headline part in your thumbnail? Is that...
You could.
Yeah.
Well, like if you did, trying to think of something you would do.
Well, like my latest recorded video is a new Barry Allen, The Flash Season 3 Fallout. So should I have left the Flash Season 3 Fallout part out and just went with a new Barry Allen part?
No. New Flash Season 3 Fallout.
Okay, so, because I've been trying to find that balance between finding stuff that people are searching for, but also finding that easily targeted YouTube keyword phrase. So I looked in YouTube and people were like searching a new Barry Allen because they were looking at what happened at the end of the episode, were questioning what happened there. So that's why I went with that title.
Yeah, no, the title's great, but the words that you put on your thumbnail, you don't want to have many words.
Right. Okay, so you're saying that your thumbnail doesn't necessarily have to have your entire title on it. It just has to have the most important parts of your title.
Or anything to catch them in. It doesn't even have to be necessarily your title. Try to think of one that I did. I think it was one about being having camera confidence, and I think I may have said feel comfortable on camera. Something like that was on the thumbnail. So remember that people are, whenever they scroll, they're looking at the thumbnails. They may not even be looking at your titles. So in the thumbnail, that's where you want to go and put those catchy titles. Those things to really get people to come in, like, did that egg break? And you're like, the egg? I wonder if it broke. But then the title of your video could be I don't know, dropping a carton of eggs from a 30-foot building.
Oh,
I'd watch that.
yeah. Yeah, I see what you're saying there. I never thought
Hmm.
of that. I always thought that the thumbnail and the title should be exactly the same, but they're actually two different ways that you're trying to bring people in. So,
Bingo.
yeah,
Yep. People are searching with their eyes when they're doing their thumbnails. So one is you want to make sure that that thumbnail is engaging. So that's where you're going to go and you're going to put that really cool title that you want to have in there. But then the title of your actual video, that's what you want to make into a searchable key phrase.
right. Okay. Well, then I will definitely because I figured, if I just call it, if I just have it be arrow breakdown or whatever, there's a gajillion of those videos, but the thumbnail could be where I break through in terms of, is this what I think it is, you know, or is this, something completely different? So yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Betty, I'm looking all over both my Facebooks and I'm not seeing whatever it is you wanted me to see. So maybe drop me a line on Twitter. It's twitter.com/RazMansReality or at RazMansReality on Twitter. Because I'm not seeing anything on Facebook. I've checked both the fan page and Razman and I'm not seeing anything. So I'm not sure what happened there. But yeah, you make a really good point because I started to wonder that. I started to wonder, are people not, because the view counts were okay, but they weren't as high as some of my earlier videos. So I started to wonder, am I focusing too much on targeted keyword phrases and not really telling people what the actual video itself is about? So it sounds like that's
I
what you're saying there.
Yeah, I mean your title, I would definitely think about in the title, what is the phrase that people are looking for? I stopped watching Arrow when my husband stopped watching Arrow. So, I'm going to come up with something. If it's actually something going on, cool, hey, bonus points. So let's say that the Arrow and we're talking about the TV show, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So let's say that in the last episode where you're reviewing that, maybe there was a point where the Arrow was possibly, at least the way that they cinematically left it off with a cliffhanger, that maybe he's dead.
That's really
Okay, so like maybe
that's really close to something that's going on. So that's
okay. So then what you could do is, you could title it Arrow, the Arrow possible. Is the Arrow really dead? Right? And then in your thumbnail, I would do the Arrow dead? Question mark, question mark, question mark. So then the people are like, holy crap, is he really dead? What happened to him? I need to click on that and see, did he die for real? What happened?
right. So I think the key is that I'm just making the title too long. Because I come up with that stuff like the new Barry Allen for the Flash, or like Arrow's gonna be no more Team Arrow, which I'm not gonna say anything more because if you haven't seen the episode yet, go and watch the episode, or that title's not gonna make any sense. But maybe the title just is like no more Team Arrow, and then people figure out that it's an actual dissection and breakdown of the episode once they click on the video. Because I think I was putting too much in the title, and that's why people are struggling to find me. Possibly.
What you could do inside of the YouTube search is I would put in the Arrow TV show, and then I would see what else comes up, or Team Arrow, and see what else pops up, and try titling exactly that. Put that also as one of your tags as well. But in the thumbnail, that's where you're going to get creative, and that's when you're going to say, is the Arrow dead? That's why it's one of those things where people are going to want to go and click on it to see, well, I wonder if he actually is dead.
Right. Well, and I just got to Buddy, and I just learned about how to use the suggested tags tool and the search tool and stuff. So things are gonna get better. Future videos are gonna get better. But that was my biggest struggle.
Yeah.
That's what my biggest struggle was trying to figure out how to break through in the crowded niche, but also make sure people know what the video is about. Like, I can't just call it, something crazy to get that's a search term, and then the search term has nothing to do with what the actual video is.
Correct.
That's my balance there.
Yeah.
Is trying to figure that out.
For your thumbnail, you want to think about how you can create the cliffhanger for your own video. That's how you really want to think about your thumbnail. How can I get people interested enough to click?
Right. And it goes back to what we've been talking about this whole time. You can't be afraid to learn new things and change what you're doing. Like, I could have been satisfied with 1,034 subscribers, but I've been there for 2.5 years. And I'm like, I know that I can do better than that. So I just...
Yep. One of the things, I have these Danielleisms. I just come up with things off the top of my head. And one of my favorite sayings that I say all the time is, when you stop learning, you stop earning. So basically, the minute that you stop trying to get better at what you do and get better at your craft, even at this crazy thing we call YouTube, that's the minute that you're going to stop getting, that's when you're going to stop growing. So really, the more you know, the more you grow.
All right, well, I just got your off-screen notification, so I think we're going to have to wrap this up. But thanks so much for being here, because I love getting to know fellow YouTubers. And down in the comments on the replay, or if I missed you in the chat or whatever, make sure you comment on the replay. Let me know if this is something regular that you want me to do versus the normal, like what I've watched live stream, you guys. Because I want, guys and girls, sorry, because I want to start doing more live streams, because I really like interacting with you guys instead of being behind a camera or behind a voiceover. So let me know if this is the kind of thing you want me to do, and I will try to get more YouTubers involved. Maybe we can do 2 live streams a week. Maybe we can make, like, the weekends the day where we have fellow YouTubers come on, and I'll have a regular live stream through the week. It's all about, like I always say at the end of every video, let me know in the comments down below if you like this video and what you liked about it, and we'll build on that, and we'll work on that and go from there. So again, Danielle, thanks so much for being here. Got a little tongue-tied there. Remind people one more time what your channel is, and or anything else you want to plug, your social media, all that good stuff, where to find you.
Sure. Well, once again, for those that have stayed all the way past here, then you guys are in for a treat. My name is Danielle Branch, and you can search me up. I'm actually wearing a yellow shirt just like this. And one of the things that I teach on my channel is all about the audience retention, and helping people grow their channel by being engaging, being different, and standing out in the crowd in your crowded niche. So you can find me there. I'm pretty much Danielle Branch everywhere, but you can head over to YouTube there. Here's my call for you. In the comments, I want you to tell him what movie he needs to do a review next.
Okay, well, you guys heard the challenge. So after Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man's Chest, which will be coming this week, you guys need to pick the next TV or movie review from Danielle's call to action, for sure. So thank you all so much for being here. And as always, this has been your RazMansReality Check.